The Kalos region, home of huge cities and some of our favorite Pokemon. It's been a long time since I've played Pokemon X or Y, which are arguably the easiest games in the series. That's why, in today's video, I've come up with a challenge that should increase the difficulty of these games significantly. Today, I'll be attempting a Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke, but I must box my team after each gym. It's kinda hard to explain, but here's essentially how this challenge will work. I'll be playing with the standard Hardcore Nuzlocke rules, which will be on screen and in the description. But in short, I must capture the first Pokemon I encounter on each route. If a Pokemon faints, it cannot be used again. I cannot use items in battle, and I cannot level up past the next gym leader's ace Pokemon. Standard Nuzlocke rules, right? Well, now is where things get interesting. Whatever Pokemon I bring to fight a gym with cannot ever be used again for the rest of the run. For example, let's say I bring Pikachu and Pidgey into the first gym fight against Viola. Once I beat Viola, I cannot use Pikachu, Pidgey, or anything from their evolution line for the rest of the run. At a first glance, this may not seem that bad, but let me tell you, it gets really interesting. For those of you who don't know, I'm very new to Nuzlocking and have been trying to learn more about Pokemon games, the mechanics, etc. And I see this challenge as a great way to help me plan for battles better, and it will definitely make me work on my team building. Because like I said, after each gym fight, I can't use those Pokemon ever again. So it's also important not to bring Pokemon I plan on using later. One more thing, and we can get into the challenge. I want to say a quick thank you to everybody who supported my first video. I appreciate all the nice comments, and I read every single one. Especially thank you to anyone who gave advice and thoughts on things I can improve on in both gameplay and in my videos. Thank you. Now, do you think I can beat this challenge? Let me know in the comments. I'll make sure to heart every prediction. Now, let's get into the challenge, shall we? I start by being attacked by my pet bird. I don't know about you, but if I was woken up like this, I would not be happy. I then change and head out to go meet my new friends, who I definitely care about and wasn't dragged into by two of them waiting outside my house. They argue over what to call me, and I showed them my YouTube channel. Now, will be shamelessly plugging me throughout the whole game. Finally, the moment I came here for comes, and I choose Froakie, the best starter of this gen, and if you disagree, you're wrong. I nicknamed Froakie Reddit. Finally, I'm allowed to leave and start the Nuzlocke, and I immediately get stopped again by Shauna, who wants to battle. However, I mop the floor with her Fennekin, as it goes down to 2 bubbles right away. Next, I go to the Pokeball shop and head to Route 2 to get my first encounter. This encounter could be considered controversial in a way, because no matter what, in Pokemon X or Y, the first Pokemon you encounter on Route 2 is a Pidgey, but I counted it as my encounter, captured it, and nicknamed it Twitter. Next, I head into the Santaloon Forest with my awesome friends and encounter a Caterpie. I catch it and name it Cash App. After that, we make our way to the end of the forest and onto Route 3. I can get another encounter here, which ends up being a Fletchling, which I named Tinder. I finally made it to Santaloon City, where the first gym resides. We'll get to that soon. I head over to Route 22 to get another encounter. I find a wild Farfetch'd, who after way more trouble than it was worth, stays in the ball. After drowning a Zigzagoon for a pair of roller skates, I decide my best move is to try and save as many Pokemon as I can, so I can have more Pokemon later in the game. So I come up with a really risky plan. However, since it's so early in the run, it doesn't really hurt that much. My plan is to beat Viola using only Pidgey. Since Viola uses bug types, on paper, this shouldn't be too hard, right? Well, let's find out. Viola leads with Surskit, who uses Bubble, which does just under 10 HP and lowers my speed. Twitter uses Gust, which does just under 50% damage. Surskit goes for Quick Attack, only doing 5 damage this time. Once again, Twitter uses Gust, which nearly takes out Surskit, but lives with a sliver of HP. Viola uses a potion, healing Surskit, who tanks another Gust from Twitter. Surskit goes for Water Sport, and then I use Gust, taking down Surskit. Now comes Vivian, who is really scary in this scenario. She goes for Tackle, putting me near 1/3 HP, and I use Sand Attack, lowering her accuracy. Once again, she goes for Tackle, and this time I use Gust, which doesn't do nearly as much damage as I'd hoped. Another Tackle from Vivian puts me at 3 HP, and I use Sand Attack again, hoping to get some hacks. Vivian goes for Harden this time, raising its defense. Twitter uses Gust, putting Vivian just under 50% HP. She uses Infestation, but misses, and another Gust from Twitter puts Vivian in the red. Now, all I need is for her to either use Harden or miss an attack, and I win. But she lands a Tackle, taking down Twitter. However, since Pidgey is always guaranteed to be my first encounter, I just kept doing this strategy. It had to work eventually, right? Well, luck wasn't on my side, and after about 5 or 6 attempts at this, it was back to the drawing board. In this attempt, my encounters were Froakie, Pidgey, Fletchling, and on Route 3, I caught a Bidoof that I named TikTok, and then on Route 22, I caught an Azurill named Doodlejump. This time, my plan was slightly different. I still brought Twitter, but in addition to that, I brought TikTok. See, Bidoof learns Rollout, a rock type move at level 13, and bug types are weak to rock. The problem is the level cap is at 12, so what my plan is to weaken Surskit with Twitter, switch to TikTok to finish it, and level up. Then, use Rollout against Vivian and win. So, let's give it a shot. Alright, my plan is to start with Pidgey. I have both Pidgey and Bidoof edged right at the end of level 12. I'm going to do as much as I can with Pidgey and then try and switch to Bidoof. Finish Surskit with Bidoof. Bidoof should hit level 13 and learn Rollout. Then I can just use Rollout as much as possible on Vivian until Bidoof dies, and then switch into Pidgey, Pidgey and finish Vivian. Hopefully that works. If I could just get a nice crit on Surskit right off the bat, that would be really good. Alright, he is using quick attack though. That does 8 damage. He already got the crit. That's so bad. Alright, it looks like the best move here. I'm going to switch to Bidoof. Okay, Water Sport. That's awesome actually. I want to get a defense curl off. I'm gonna go for 2 defense curls. Alright, we use Tackle. Tackle should kill. That does nothing. Alright. Let's go. Let's go. We should win this. And now I just roll out and win, right? Oh my god. She uses a potion. That's alright. You're dead this turn anyway. Oh my gosh, I love Bidoof. It's so good. As I head to Route 4, I'm stopped by some lady who gives me one of the most controversial items in Pokemon. I run through the flowers and get quite possibly the worst encounter I could have got. A male Combi, which means it won't even be able to evolve. Despite hating this encounter, I capture it and name it BuzzFeed. Now, I made it to the biggest city in the game and the centerpiece of Kalos, Lumiose City. I'd make a joke about how there's supposed to be a blackout to stop people from going into certain areas when clearly you can see the lights and people in those areas, but we've all probably heard it before. Anyway, I head to Professor Sycamore's lab, where he challenges us to a battle. His team consists of Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander, none of which give me any trouble. Now, I get to choose another starter, and I pick Charmander and name it Dragon City. As I head out of the lab, there's a tall man dressed in all the same color who definitely doesn't give a creepy vibe as he talks about me being the chosen one and his desire for a more beautiful world. On Route 5, I run into a wild Bunnelby, which I catch and name Facebook. There's also a rival battle against Tierno, but yeah. On Route 7, there's a Snorlax blocking the path, so I have to go ask some rich people for the Pokeflute. On the way, I run into a wild Venipede, which I catch and name Zoom. After running around like an idiot for about 10 minutes, I find the rich guy's Furfrou, and they reward me with, one of the most awkward cutscenes ever. Then, we ask for the flute, and as I head back to Snorlax, Reddit evolves. I go wake up Snorlax, who after some trouble, joins the team, earning the nickname Fitness. Oh yeah, Tinder and Dragon City evolved too. There's another rival battle, but this time, it's a team-up battle with Serena against Tierno and Trevor. But again, it was uneventful. After that, I catch a Zubat named Angry Birds in Connecting Cave and a Mienfoo named Tumblr on Route 8. Once at Ambret Town, I need to ride this Rhyhorn on Route 9 to the Glittering Cave. On Route 9, I encounter a Hippopotas, which I catch and name DoorDash, and in the Glittering Cave, my encounter is Rhyhorn, which I accidentally take down with a critical hit bubble from Doodlejump. At the end of the cave, I have to fight some Team Flare Grunts, which gave me no issue, and Doodlejump evolves after one of the battles. At the end of the room, we rescue a confused scientist who lets me choose between 2 fossils, and I chose the Sail Fossil, which will give me Amora. I get the fossil restored to Amora, and name it Dino Hunter. I finally make it to Salage City, where the second gym is, after one of the longest stretches of filler in the game, if not the whole series. This gym is a rock-type gym, and the leader Grant has both of the fossil Pokemon from this generation, Tyrunt and Amora, so I wasn't taking any chances. I decided to bring Facebook, who I evolved into Diggersby, Doodlejump, who I evolved into Azumarill, DoorDash, and Tumblr. Alright, I'm gonna lead with Doodlejump. Tumblr is kind of here just for like backup if I need a sack or like just a quick like free switch for any reason. There's not too much that he can do, but these guys I think I think we can pull through. I'm really nervous, but it's time. I start the battle against Grant, and he sends out Amara. I lead with Doodle Jump, who uses Charm, lowering Amara's attack. Next, he uses Thunder Wave, and immediately follows up with an Aurora Beam, which does almost nothing, and he gets the Para Hacks. After another Aurora Beam, Amara dodges an Aqua Tail. Another Aurora Beam, my attack gets lowered, and Para Hacks. Amara uses Aurora Beam, again, landing a critical hit this time, and I can't move from paralysis. I don't know what kind of hacks Grant has, but I want them. Another Aurora Beam, and paralysis. Another Aurora Beam, and we finally get our first hit on Amara with a Bubble Beam doing just under 50% damage. Another day, another critical hit, Aurora Beam. Finally though, Doodle Jump lands an Aqua Tail, taking down Amara. Tyrunt, Grant's final Pokemon, comes out. I switch into DoorDash, and Tyrunt uses Rock Tomb, which doesn't do much damage. He uses Bite, which puts DoorDash just over half health, but also makes me flinch. Another Bite puts me on 15 HP, and I use Yawn. After that, I switch into Facebook, who tanks a bite from Tyrunt, who then falls asleep. Facebook uses Double Kick, and Tyrunt is still asleep. I use Mud Shot next, which nearly KOs Tyrunt. Grant uses a Hyper Potion, which I for some reason didn't expect, so I just use Double Kick again. After another hard-hitting Mud Shot, Tyrunt wakes up and uses Rock Tomb, which does a pitiful amount of damage. After one more Double Kick, Tyrunt goes down, and I win the second gym badge. Even after all the hacks, Grant couldn't win. Facebook, Doodle Jump, DoorDash, and even Tumblr, you won't be forgotten. On Route 10, my encounter is a Gullet, which I catch in a Temple Run. Zoom evolves into Whirlipede, and then the next gym leader, Karina, challenges me with her 2 Lucario. I win and don't receive a gym badge. On Route 11, I catch a Hariyama and name it Brawlhalla, and in Reflection Cave, I catch a Solosis named Trivia Crack. I make my way through the cave to Shailor City. Here, I head to the Tower of Mastery, where we learn about Mega Evolution. The old man has 1 Mega Ring, so Serena and I fight to the death over it. Nah, just kidding. I just destroy her in battle again. The old geezer tells me to go beat Karina again, and then I can have the Mega Ring. Because this is a fighting gym, I decide to bring Trivia Crack and Tinder to the gym. In this gym, all the trainers are mandatory. During one of the fights, this happens. No. No! Why is he faster? I lost Trivia Crack because Throw was faster. I thought I was faster because Revenge was used after my move, when actually, Revenge always goes last. So, it was back to the drawing board. I eventually decided to train up Angry Birds, and I evolved it into Crobat. Now, it's time to take on Karina. She sends out Mienfoo, and I send out Angry Birds. Mienfoo uses Fake Out, but because Crobat has Inner Focus, Angry Birds doesn't flinch. I use Wing Attack, which takes down Mienfoo. Machoke comes out, and immediately goes down to a Wing Attack. Finally is Hawlucha, who uses Hone Claws, raising attack and accuracy. However, Hawlucha goes down to one last Wing Attack from Crobat, winning us our 3rd gym badge. After boxing Tinder and Angry Birds, I now head to the top of the Tower of Mastery, where I have to fight Karina again, except this time, we both have Lucario, which is holding its Mega Stone. After owning Karina for a 3rd time in the span of like 3 minutes, she gives me the Lucario and Mega Stone I battled with, and I named it Discord. On Route 12, I encounter an Execute, which I catch, and immediately after, I realize I could have gotten a free Gift Lapras, but since I already got my encounter, it's a no-go. After that, Zoom evolves. Once I arrive in Coumarine City, I receive a message from my best friend since birth that she wants to battle in front of the gym. I know it might seem like I'm just avoiding showing the rival fights, but that's because I pretty much am. They've all been super boring and uneventful, so I'd rather just not show battles like that, and this one was no exception. Before going into the gym, I went to the Azure Bay to get an encounter, and I got Tentacool. At the time, I was slightly tilted because I went there hoping to get Wingull, but it worked out alright. I captured it and named it Wordscapes. I decided to bring Fitness, the Snorlax, to fight Ramos, and I brought BuzzFeed, my male Combi, along as support in case things go south. Honestly, I was pretty scared going into this fight, but let's see how it went. Ramos sends out Jumpluff, and I lead with Fitness. He uses Grass Knot, which doesn't do much, and Fitness uses Return, nearly taking out Jumpluff. Ramos uses a Hyper Potion, and I use Return again. After another Hyper Potion, this time, Return gets the roll to kill, taking down Jumpluff. Next up is Go-Goat, who uses Takedown, doing only 29 damage. Fitness uses Return again, doing about 80% damage. Go-Goat uses Grass Knot, which does a lot, but Fitness eats his Citrus Berry, restoring HP back to 90. After another return from Fitness, Go-Goat goes down. Ramos' last Pokemon is Weepinbell, who after landing a critical hit Acid, goes down to one last return from Fitness, earning us our 4th gym badge. My next encounter I think goes better without the post commentary. What? No way! What the Let's go! That's crazy. I captured the shiny Dugtrio and named it Coinbase. I now have to head to the Kalos power plant because Team Flare is doing something bad again, probably. After I battle this grunt, he announces that he dropped his key exactly 9 steps east behind a boulder. After picking it up, I go into the power plant where I basically just fight off a bunch of Team Flare members. The only battle that was really worth noting was this one. No! Yeah, I don't really have an excuse for this one. It was a mix of bad luck, but mostly bad decisions. I shouldn't have stayed in with Discord there. Before taking on the admins, who were probably the easiest battles in there, Reddit evolved. The first admin's Houndoom goes down to a Surf, and Aliana's Mightyena went down to 2 bug bites from Zoom. Now, the blackout in Lumio City from earlier is over, so we can access the rest of the city. The 5th gym is inside of this huge tower in the center of the city. With me, I decide to bring Brawlhalla, the Hariyama, and Coinbase. Without any stalling, I go right into battle. Clement leads with Emolga, and I lead with my shiny boy. Coinbase uses Rock Tomb, which does about 75% damage to Emolga, who retaliates with an Aerial Ace, which does about 45% to me. But one more Rock Tomb takes down Emolga. Clement sends out Heliolisk next, and because it knows Grass Knot, I switch into Brawlhalla. For some reason though, it goes for Quick Attack, which barely puts a dent in my tank of a Hariyama. This time, he uses Grass Knot, which does a little less than half of my health, and after that, Heliolisk falls to a single Force Palm from Hariyama. Clement sends out Magneton, and I could just annihilate it with Brawlhalla, but since I'm never gonna get to use Coinbase again, and he's shiny, so I need to give it more screen time because shinies equals views. After it uses Electric Terrain and I use Force Palm, which leaves Magneton on 1 HP because of Sturdy, I switch into Coinbase since Clement is almost guaranteed to heal, and he does. Coinbase uses Dig, and Magneton misses a Mirror Shot. My Dig puts Magneton at 1 HP because of Sturdy. Clement uses Mirror Shot, which puts Coinbase on 1 HP. Clement heals again, and I set up a Dig. I use Dig, which puts him on 1 HP again, and he uses Mirror Shot, taking down Coinbase. We had our fun, and Coinbase did his job, so let's win this in his honor. After Magneton sets up an Electric Terrain, it goes down to a Force Palm, earning us our 5th gym badge. After laying Brawlhalla and Coinbase to rest, I have another brief encounter in this inconspicuous hideout. I mean cafe, with Lysander, the tall, definitely not evil man from earlier in the game. I head over to Route 14, where Trevor is advertising for me, and you'll never guess what Serena wants to do. Yep. The whole group reunites, and we decide to go find a house that's supposedly super spooky. Well, almost everyone. Serena is still being a little piss baby over a battle that was definitely necessary. All of us, well, most of us meet up at the supposed scary house, but it ends up just being an old guy threatening us for pocket change. I get my Route 14 encounter, which is a Quagsire. I catch it and name it Pokemon Go. It's nice to reunite with old friends. Now I made it to Laver City, where the next gym is. This one is a fairy type gym, and with Wordscapes, the Tentacruel, it should be a breeze. It's time to fight Valerie. I think this will honestly be a sweep. It shouldn't be a problem. So I brought Tentacruel, and I gave him the Poison Barb. Surf should 2-hit KO Mawile, and then from there I Poison Jab. Pretty simple. Hopefully it goes well. We got this. Alright, Surf 2-hit KOs. Could just crit, that'd be sick. Another Surf. Oh, I forgot she had Hyper Push. That's fine. Okay, have fun. Just wasting your potions. Mr. Mime. Yeah, Poison Jab is a 1-hit KO. Sylveon, I also Poison Jab. I don't remember if it's an OHKO. If not, it's a 2-hit KO. Sylveon can't hurt me. That was the easiest gym fight of my life, honestly. I think it really was. Tentacruel's so good. I wish I could keep him, but I really didn't have another answer. I really want to keep Scolipede. Valerie's gym couldn't have gone better. After beating Valerie, Team Flare is doing something most likely pointless at the Pokeball factory. Once I make my way through to the office, I battle a Team Flare admin, which wasn't an issue at all, and then Serena shows up to save the day. I think she's got it under control. Unfortunately, these two grunts won't let me through, so I go back and help my bestie. And after winning, this old guy lets us choose between a Master Ball and a Big Nugget. Obviously the Big Nugget. After making the obvious decision, he gives me the other one anyway. Also, I'm not sure what happened to the footage of it, but in Laver City, I also fished for an encounter and got a Basculin. On Route 15, my encounter is Klefki, which I named Geometry Dash, and on Route 16, I get Pumpkaboo, which I named Granny. Now I must go to the Frost Cavern, because the Mamoswine people ride to get to Anastar City is worried and won't leave the cavern. So, leave it to the 10-year-old kid to figure out. In the cavern, I encounter a Cryogonal, which I named Clash Royale. As I make my way through the cave, I accidentally slide into this double battle, which is going fine for the most part, until I switch out both Geometry Dash and Dragon City, because their HP is low, and I send out Reddit and Temple Run, which wasn't my smartest switch, but most of my team wasn't the best matchups against these guys anyway, and the Hariyama uses Wake Up Slap on Reddit, taking it down. No! This was devastating, with as scarce as Pokemon are for me at this point in the challenge, and a lot of the ones I have are really not that great. So losing my starter, who has carried more than its own weight for most of the run, really sucked. But after I beat the battle, I went back to the PC, laid Greninja to rest, and brought Pokemon Go to the team. I finished my journey through the Frost Cavern and learned it was Team Flare messing with Abomasnow, who lived in the cave, and that's why Mamoswine was worried. Now that that's done with, I can continue to the next city. Now, on Route 17, my encounter is Delibird. Yeah, I caught it, and named it Amazon. I made it to Anastar City, where the Psychic type gym is, and where I hope to get the 7th gym badge. Before we can challenge the gym though, we have to give Serena her hourly dose of ass beating, the Psychic type gym. I brought Temple Run my Golurk, I did Calcs, and everything looks good, and with just a little bit of RNG and luck, I should be able to win the battle with only Temple Run. Alright, I've done the Calcs. Whew, I'm nervous still, as I am with every battle. So this thing outspeeds, it should get one hit off and then die. It didn't even get a hit. It uses Reflect. I don't know if that actually... Yeah, so it might survive now actually. Yeah. But... I didn't think about Reflect. So it's a little scary. Things don't go down in one hit now. Ah, wait. Do I lose now? Meowstic. Ah! I think I lose. Oh no. It's using Calm Mind. Don't crit. Oh! I have to Oko. I lose! Please Calm Mind. Crit. Calm Mind. No! I lost the run. This challenge has been tough, and I'm sad to say it bested me. Which is why I went and started another run, playing the entire challenge again. You didn't really think I'd end a video on a gym battle loss like that, did you? I fought my way back to where I was, in some super crazy battles. That sucks. Let's go! No! It's time. I've once again made it to the 7th gym, and I am ready. I brought Sneasel, who is holding an Eviolite, and I plan on using Shadow Claw and then pivoting to Gourgeist when necessary. Then I'll switch back to Sneasel as needed. I also brought Vivillon as backup, just in case. I cannot risk losing this fight again. Do you know how long this took? Anyway, I start the battle. Olympia sends out Sigilyph, and I lead with Discord to Sneasel. Remember how I forgot about Reflect and Light Screen in the last Olympia battle? Well, guess what? I did all of my calcs without checking for screens, and after using Shadow Claw, Sigilyph uses Reflect. But another Shadow Claw takes down Sigilyph.
How do I forget about that again? I should be alright still.
Olympia sends out Slowking next, and I switch to Granny the Gourgeist, who becomes drowsy after Slowking uses Yawn. Granny uses Seed Bomb, which does over half, and Slowking uses Yawn again. Then I fall asleep. Slowking uses Psychic, and his team's Reflect wears off. Granny wakes up and takes down Slowking with a Seed Bomb. Finally is her Meowstic, who uses Calm Mind, raising its special stats. Granny uses Shadow Ball, doing just over a quarter of its HP. However, Meowstic returns with its own Shadow Ball, decimating Granny. I send out Apple Music to Vivillon, who takes down Meowstic with a Bug Buzz, winning us our 7th gym badge. As I lead the gym, Serena is about to challenge me to, another battle, before Lysander broadcast said he's gonna kill everyone except for Team Flare because somehow that would make the world more beautiful. Now, we're at what we call the climax of the game. On screen right now is every Pokemon I have left at this point in the run. It's looking a bit better than it did in the last attempt. Let's hope it stays that way. Remember that cafe where we met with Lysander after beating Clement? Apparently, it's a secret Team Flare hideout. Who saw that coming? Once I'm in, Lysander immediately challenges me to a battle. He sends out Mienfoo, who instantly falls to a wing attack from Dragon City. Lysander sends out his terrifying Gyarados next, and I switch to Reddit, who takes an Aqua Tail. I use Smokescreen to lower its accuracy, and Gyarados uses Outrage, which is super scary. Reddit barely survives. I switch into Goat, my Lucario, hoping it can tank a hit, and it tanks a crit Outrage. Goat Mega Evolves and uses Aura Sphere, doing just over a quarter of its HP. Gyarados misses Outrage thanks to Reddit, and then becomes confused. I switch into Grubhub, the Malamar, who eats an EQ and then lands a critical hit Night Slash, taking down Gyarados. Lysander sends out Pyroar, who does a ton of damage with Fire Blast, and Grubhub uses Night Slash, doing just under half. I switch to Dino Hunter, the Aurorus, who after tanking 2 Fire Blasts, takes down Pyroar with Ancient Power. Murkrow is his final Pokemon, and I switch into Dragon City, who takes it down with a single Flamethrower. That was my first really tough battle, and there's a few more against Lysander to come. I make a quick pit stop to the Lost Hotel to get another encounter and end up with Klefki, who I catch and name Heyday. I then switch Reddit and Goat for Pokemon Go the Quagsire and Brawlhalla the Hariyama as I deal with Team Flare. It's essentially just making my way through the lab while fighting a bunch of Team Flare members, and Pokemon Go deals with nearly all of them on his own. Eventually, I find the admin who has the elevator key, and I defeat her. I go down, and there's this scary guy whose name I won't even try to pronounce, who I defeat. But since he somewhat comprehends how to be a villain, he still activates the weapon that will eradicate everybody anyway. And after battling Team Flare Grunts for nearly an hour, the entirety of Geocentral Town is uprooted by the ultimate weapon in what is actually a pretty cool cutscene. So, we go to Geocentral Town to do what? Yep. More Team Flare battles in another secret base. I switch out Zoom the Scolipede for Roblox the Lapras, as I see Lapras being an asset in both fights against Lysander. I enter, and after a brief confrontation with him, he challenges us again. And even though we just battled him, his Pokemon are now already fully evolved. He leads with Mienshao, who goes down to a wing attack and then sends out Gyarados. So I switch to Roblox. Gyarados tries to use Aqua Tail, but Roblox has Water Absorb. Roblox is also holding the Never Melt Ice, boosting the power of ice attacks, so Ice Beam does a lot. Gyarados uses Outrage, which I tank, and one more Ice Beam takes down Gyarados. From there, a Surf takes down Pyroar, and an Ice Beam takes down Honchkrow. We make our way down, being stopped by many grunts, but eventually, we make it to the core of the HQ, where after battling 4 more Team Flare members, Xerneas is awakened. Mine. Lysander wants to take it from me, so he challenges me again. He leads with Mienshao, and by now we know how it goes down. Pyroar comes out, so I switch to Pokemon Go, who takes over 50% damage from a Hyper Voice, so I switch to Roblox, who takes it a bit better than Quagsire. After tanking a Fire Blast, Roblox uses Surf to take down Pyroar. Honchkrow comes out, who goes down to a single Ice Beam. Finally is Gyarados, who after Mega Evolving, hears Roblox's Perish song, meaning it's only a matter of time before it goes down. And finally, Roblox, who's carried us through this Lysander arc, goes down to an Outrage. I switch into Brawlhalla, who tanks one last Outrage before eviscerating Gyarados with a critical hit close combat, winning us the battle. And from the looks of it, Lysander might be a bit upset. He says he'll bring us to his new world, and we get out of there like every dad in Pokemon. Lysander activates the weapon, but instead of killing everyone, it looks like he's only killed himself. Kinda dark, especially for Pokemon. Continuing on my journey, I encounter a Durant in Terminus Cave, which I name Plants vs Zombies. And on Route 19, I encounter a Sliggoo, which is probably the best encounter I could have had. I named it Genshin. Now comes the infamous Route 19 bridge, where you fight all of your rivals except Serena, ironically, consecutively. The first battle against Shauna was a bit tough though. She will never use Psychic. She will never get a critical hit. That was not a Yeah, wasn't my finest move staying in there. The rest of the battles seemed scary to me, but they went fine. I will mention that it was nice seeing some development of my rivals and them having fully trained teams now. I made it to Snowbell City, which holds the final gym, but before I can battle it, I must go through the Winding Woods to the Pokemon Village to bring Wulfric back to the gym. In the Winding Woods, I encounter a Noctowl, which I catch and name Duolingo. And after sending Wulfric to the gym, I get Gothorita in the Pokemon Village, who I name Hot Topic. For the final gym, I decide to bring Plants vs Zombies my Durant and Google Maps the Poliwrath. However, Durant has the ability Hustle, which gives it a boosted attack stat in exchange for lowered accuracy on all moves, which is pretty risky to bring to the final gym. But after doing the calcs and seeing what Durant can do to this gym, I don't have many other options. My other Pokemon either suck or have potential to come to the Pokemon League with me, so I can't lose them. But it's time to begin the final gym battle of the game. Wulfric sends out Abomasnow, who falls instantly to an X-Scissor from Durant. Avalugg comes out, and Durant uses Iron Head, doing about 80% damage. Avalugg uses Curse, which lowers speed in exchange for an attack and defense boost. And now, the effects of Hustle really go into effect, as I miss 2 Iron Heads, and Avalugg uses Curse 2 more times, meaning it's now +3 attack and +3 defense. So I'm lucky to do half the damage I was doing before. I finally land an Iron Head, flinching it, but it doesn't KO, because the hail has been healing Avalugg each turn. And now, Wulfric uses a Hyper Potion, fully healing Avalugg, who, let me remind you, is now +3 in attack and defense. Now Iron Head is barely doing a quarter of its HP, and after another Iron Head, it uses Curse again. This time, Iron Head flinches it, but Wulfric heals again. After 2 more Iron Heads, Avalugg uses Crunch, leaving me on 3 HP. I just lost to Wulfric. Pushing on, I switch to Poliwrath, who needs to take a crunch and does. I use Surf next, which has a chance to KO, but doesn't. And Avalugg uses Avalanche, taking down Google Maps. If there is any time for you to miss, it is not right now. If there is any time for you to miss, it is not right now. Let's go! Yes! Holy! I am shaking. Oh my. I need a second. Oh my. That was one of the scariest gym battles I've ever done. But we won, meaning I have the final gym badge and I can go to the Pokemon League. On Route 21, I encounter Altaria, which I named iCloud. Before entering Victory Road, this guy checks your badges and then battles you to test you before challenging the league. But isn't getting all 8 badges the test? Come on, man. It's time. Victory Road. One last challenge before the Pokemon League. This challenge has been a tough one, but more importantly, it's really improved my Nuzlocking skills. If I compare my skills now to my skills in my earlier attempts or even my last video, it's a night and day difference. And that's why I'm doing this. I want to become a great Nuzlocker, and if I keep doing challenges like this that really focus on certain aspects of Nuzlocking, I think I can achieve this goal. This whole challenge really makes you plan things out much earlier than you would normally have to in a normal Nuzlocke. So if you're looking for a challenge or trying to sharpen those skills, I implore you to give this a shot. But let me warn you, it's not as easy as you might think. Now, I really think I have a good shot at this, so with no more stalling, let's challenge the Pokemon League and finish this. I'm in the Pokemon League, and there's no going back now. For the first battle, I challenge Malva, the Fire-type user. She leads with Pyroar, and I lead Reddit, who takes it down with one Surf, and literally her entire team goes down the same way. Talonflame, Torkoal, and Chandelure. 1 down, 3 to go. Wickstrom, the Steel-type user, is next, and he leads with Klefki, who uses Torment on Dragon City before going down to a Flamethrower. Wickstrom sends out Probopass, so I switch into Reddit, who uses Surf, and then Probopass uses Discharge, doing a lot of damage. Wickstrom uses a Full Restore, and I use Surf once more, but it lives thanks to Sturdy. I switch into Genshin, and he heals once more. After using Muddy Water, Genshin tanks a Flash Cannon, before taking down Probopass with Thunderbolt. Aegislash comes out, and Genshin uses Thunderbolt. After switching to its attack form, Aegislash uses Iron Head, which hits hard. So I switch to Dragon City, who can tank an Iron Head. I Mega Evolve, then use Flamethrower, which takes down both Aegislash and Scizor, winning us the second battle. For the next battle, I choose to go against Seabold, the Water-type user, and this battle might have scared me the most out of any of the battles in the Pokemon League. He leads with Clawitzer, who instantly goes down to a Thunderbolt from Genshin. Next he sends out Starmie, who sets up a Light Screen, and then survives a Thunderbolt. After Genshin takes a Dazzling Gleam, Starmie goes down to another Thunderbolt. Gyarados, my biggest fear, comes out, who barely survives the Thunderbolt, and it uses Dragon Dance, raising attack and speed. For some reason though, I forgot he was gonna heal, so I switched into Reddit. Now Gyarados is back at full HP and has boosted attack and speed. I spend about 10 minutes trying to decide the best thing I can do here, and I do this.
Like, who can tank a waterfall? Nobody. Greninja, and then Greninja's back out and does nothing. No! I didn't even mean to click that. We're gonna try and work with it. I misclicked, so I might, it D-danced again. I didn't click that. Its light screen wore off. He's D-dancing again? Give me a crit. Do I just take the chance? Don't kill. Let's go! I can't believe I misclicked, bro.
Even after misclicking, Grubhub gets insanely lucky and manages to take down Gyarados. From there, he sends out Barbaracle, so I switch to Genshin, who takes an X-Scissor and then takes it down with Thunderbolt. This was a tough battle, but there's only one left to go. And then, the champion. The final member of the Elite Four is Drasna, the Dragon-type user. I start the battle, and she leads with Dragalge, who goes down to a Dragon Pulse from Genshin. Altaria and Noivern come out, who both go down to Ice Beam. And finally, Druddigon comes out, who goes down to 1 Dragon Pulse. We've successfully beaten the Elite Four. All that's left is Diantha, the soon-to-be former champion. Hopefully. Everything has led up to this, and we've lost so many Pokemon. Let's make sure it wasn't for nothing. I start the battle. Diantha leads with Hawlucha, and I send out Genshin. Hawlucha uses Flying Press before getting one-shot by an Ice Beam. Diantha sends out her own Dino Hunter, and I switch into Goat before she sets up Reflect. Aurorus barely survives an Aura Sphere and then lands a Thunder. Talk about lucky. She full restores and survives another Aura Sphere, and one more takes down Aurorus. Goodra comes out, and I switch into Dragon City, who takes a critical hit Focus Blast. Dragon City Mega Evolves and uses Dragon Claw, which takes down Goodra in one hit. Next up is Tyrantrum, so I switch back into Goat, who can survive a Head Smash before taking down Tyrantrum with an Aura Sphere. She sends out Gourgeist, so I switch to Dragon City, who's turned into a Ghost type. From there, Flamethrower takes it down. Diantha is left with one more Pokemon, who is genuinely terrifying, Gardevoir. Diantha Mega Evolves Gardevoir, and I use Flamethrower, which does a lot, and burns her. She uses Shadow Ball, which is gonna take out... Just kidding! Dragon City lives on 5 HP, and from there, I use Flamethrower one last time, securing victory.
There's no way.
Oh! Let's go!
Yeah! I just won my first Hardcore Nuzlocke.
Not only did I win my first Nuzlocke, I won my first Hardcore Nuzlocke, and it felt so good. This challenge took so much of my time, and now it was all worth it, as I'm entered into the Hall of Fame. So many different Pokemon helped us get through this challenge, and it's finished. I beat a Pokemon X Hardcore Nuzlocke where I boxed my team after each gym. This challenge was insanely difficult and had multiple attempts, but I think this was a great learning experience for me. This challenge really helped me focus on planning ahead and team building, which are two key parts of playing Pokemon and Nuzlocking. And as someone who's pretty new to this scene of Pokemon, this was a great learning experience. If you want to learn more or sharpen your Nuzlocking skills, I highly recommend this challenge. If anyone thinks of any other challenges that focus on another aspect of Nuzlocking that could help me improve, please let me know below. It might even turn into a video someday. Thank you for sticking through to the end. I know this was a long video, but you made it this far, so if you could drop a like and a comment, it would mean the world to me. And if you want to see more, subscribe. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next challenge.